In this first video for week 2, I'm going to say something about the blocking in process for this video, and I'm re-recording it because there are just a few little glitches. So you'll notice I've already blocked in these parts here, which you'll see in later videos. So just ignore that for the moment. I've deliberately not tried to make this an amazing little block in. I'm just trying to do it as a reasonably rough block in. There's just one coat here, one coat here, one coat here, and here. And there are some problems with it. The ocean's a bit too green. Tonally, not bad. You'll notice I haven't put the golden colour out here at the moment. I've left that. So just green, a bit too green. I'd slow that down. Not unhappy with my clouds. I must have put something on that and down at SUP, I think, and then not quite wiped it off cleanly enough, so there's a bit of a blotch there. But my clouds generally have got the kind of darkness I want. These are okay. And with second layers, it would really start to fill that in. I've got a couple of other versions. I think I have put second layers on these ones. So you sort of see the result that you get when you do put a couple of layers on. But this is a block in, so the goal of this is just to give an overall rendering of the colours and the tonal values. I want to say something then a little bit about these the colours and the tones in this, and I guess my starting point is, this is not an easy painting. I'll show you, I'm in Procreate here. I'll just pop something under here so it takes that flare off from my overhead lights in the studio. Yeah, so I'm going to say a little bit about why this is a difficult painting. First of all, though, I'll take you to my photos, and I'll show you a couple of paintings that we've done previously. So these are, my finished version of the painting. This is Yelling Up North, which we did in lockdown last year in group 1. And when you turn it into a black and white photo, that's what it looks like. Now, just have a look at that, because I'm going to show you the second painting that we did with the group. Again, this is, I call this Yelling Up South, for want of a better word, looking down towards the lagoon and canal rocks from rabbits. And there's a black and white rendering of the image, not of my painting, but of the actual image. Now, this is the painting that we're going to be attempting. And this is the black and white rendering. And if you sort of look at that and compare it with that and with that, hopefully you can see some differences. One of the big differences for me is that there's not these big dominant areas of light and dark. So this is a much more subtle painting, much more subtle. There's real gradations of tone going through. Whereas if you look at this one, for example, we've got a very dark ridge, very light beach. We've got white waves, dark ocean, white waves, dark ocean, light sky. So it's a very easy, relatively easy painting to paint. Lighter sky, dark ridge, white beach, lighter beach, white waves, dark ocean, white beach, dark bushes. So yeah, just a completely different story. And I have had second thoughts about us attempting this, but I guess my approach is going to be to try and stay in contact with you individually, one-to-one, just to check your journey on these tones, because these tones are subtle. And later on in the actual painting bit, I've gone to, just had an idea about a departure lounge area. So put your paint down and then have a departure lounge. And so that means you just get a little bit of, phthalo green. What a shocking colour that is. So you just bring a little bit of it out here into the departure lounge. And then at any point where you need phthalo green, you don't go into the paint, you go into the departure lounge where you have a lot more control over the amount of paint. Black, lamp black, again, So that's what we're doing. And this is deliberately designed for this painting where you need to be subtle. You just cannot go and bash into it and hope for the best. It's a very subtle, kind of iterative approach to painting that I'm going to be covering here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It's really interesting, isn't it, that we've got these sun rays, very bright and orange, but when we go and look at them tonally, they're not that distinct. They're sort of bright orange, yes, but tonally they're very much the same sort of grayscale as is in the back. Now, on that grayscale issue, let me just take you to this one, the value scale. So this is the grayscale. We call it measures tonal value or tone or value. I'm going to use the word value as my word. So you can see here we go from white to black. And we've just got, all the shades in between. The scale's interesting. It goes from 1 to 9. So that means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in between. And it's structured from 1 to 9 because that allows us to have one in the middle, which we call our mid-tone. And then 2, 3, and 4 are normally designated as highlights. And our shadows are 6, 7, and 8. That's an oversimplification or a simplification, but generally true that shadows are going to come out of 6, 7, and 8 and highlights out of 2, 3, and 4. Look, I would put it to you that most of this painting is 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's sort of what I would say out of this. We don't have much that's really black. We have a little bit down here in the corner, but I would say 4, 5, 6, and 7, and not much 8 and 9 at all. So that just gives you a little bit more information on the value scale. So I'll go to Procreate and I'll just show you what's going on in some of these colours. And I'm doing this, I'm not expecting you guys to have to buy this app. I can demo it all here and give you a bit of an idea. So yeah, normally when you click on that, you get it up here, but if you drag it off, it gives you, you can get it out of the way if that's an issue. And I'm going to pick up my brush and I'm going to be drawing and done. Okay. So let me just, that's all good. So I'm just checking that works. So I'm going to do some color sampling just to show you what's going on in this sky. So I take that point, just hold it down for a sec, and then it gives me the color. The color is not blue, it's blue towards green. Okay, so I just pick up black so I can draw that with my pencil. Blue to green in that area there. We can sample other areas. Yeah, same sort of story. We can go up here, same sort of story. So all that's varying in this is the tone. It's the same base mix, but tonally varying. Let's have a look at this one. I mean, when you look at it, you think, oh yeah, baby blue. But it is actually really close towards green. So I'm going to call this, I'll just pick up black for my pen. I'm going to call this a green blue. I'm putting green first because to me, there's much more green in this. What about this guy here? This is not yellow, it's yellow towards green. So however you want to describe it, you could describe it as a yellow-green or a greeny yellow. A bit of ocean. the ocean's interesting, isn't it? It's not blue, it's coming around towards green. So this is a, just need to get blank. This is a blue-green as well down here. So one of the distinctive things about the clouds and the sky and the water, generalizing here, is the green. So we've got green there, we've got green in the mix, green in the mix, and green in the mix. So that's a very distinctive sort of pattern. When we come down to the land, which is what we're going to be mixing tonight, let's have a look. It goes to really orange here. So that's orange. What about this sand? The sand has moved from orange towards red. Can I just sort of back out of that? I believe I'm going to call that more of a yellow. There. And if we try this bit here, that's moved more towards an orange. And then if we try something out here, it's moving more towards a red. So there's, you know, in these three here on the beach, there's no green at all. So that's a very distinguishing feature of this. Later on, we'll look at this, but just very quickly, the sky is basically a pure white. It's saying with a very, very subtle reddish tinge. And if you move to the outside of that white area, you can see it's like a yellowy green. So it goes white, so it's white in the middle, and then around the outside it goes more a yellowy green and then goes into orange from there. So anyway, that's just a little bit of a summary, and in the next video we'll go on and mix this colour and this colour and this colour, knowing a little bit more about the base. And I would put it to you that this is a generalisation about skies, oceans and land, particularly at the time of sunset. There's more green in the picture, particularly with the clouds, the sky and the ocean, than you would expect.